At your throat like Chloraseptic. It's the Going Off podcast with Rap Critic and Muse. Yo, dude, how you doing?
New Black Eyed Peas single out of goddamn nowhere.
Yeah,
we got an Eminem remix. I didn't know if you had seen that Bruno Mars and Cardi B.
Yeah, I did.
Oh my god, I love that fucking video. For any fans of In Living Color, that fucking video, I did not expect the rooftop. Like, I'd seen them, like, playing with the paints, and I was like, that reminds me of something. And then when they fucking show up on the rooftop, I'm like, oh shit. It was even filmed with like a different like frame rate that like looked like TV. Oh, it was so fucking cool. Fucking Cardi B, fucking within a year's time already on a song with Bruno.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so you know what's very interesting about that show? I'm not sure if I ever mentioned it on the podcast before, but In Living Color is the first television show, like primetime television show, to have a rap song as the theme.
Oh, yeah, I guess that does make sense.
Yeah, and it was like, you know, this is the first time we're bringing, like, you know, what's going on in the black neighborhood to your television screen. And another touch that I had noticed, but I'd never really thought about before, is the fact that what does the set look like? It looks like the rooftop of a project. And so it's like, wow, I never even just thought about that little touch before, you know?
Man, remember when Fox was cutting edge?
Dude, remember when Fox was cutting edge, but then, like, automatically just started shitting on their own television shows? Like, what the hell? Like, no show could last too long.
Yeah, and the shows that did lasted way too long. Like, if you're fucking thinking early 90s Fox, when it was like, Fox was changing the game, edgy and different the programming was, like...
Married with Children.
Married with Children redefined what, like, a family sitcom was, and The Simpsons did right along with it, but what The Simpsons did early on, and I'd watched a video on it, it broke it down really well about why The Simpsons was so different for the time. It was, like, straight up parodying the typical family sitcoms were up until that point on the other networks and the ones you're used to, like your Leave It to Beaver type style. Like, it's all very clean cut. The issues are always very family oriented. They're never too out there. But then, because it started out being counterculture, because The Simpsons got so big, it became the culture. So then it was like, well, shit, what are we going to make fun of? I guess let's make fun of other shows on Fox until they get canceled. It was just like, what the hell is this? It was fucking cannibalistic. And In Living Color was right there with it.
You had this show that was very, like, you know, Afrocentric. But, you know, you also had a couple of white guys on the show as well. Like, it's not like it was just a black person show. Over time, you know, they were doing lots of skits that were considered controversial. And, you know, they were always kind of at odds with the censors and Fox and things of that nature. So, one season, one of the later seasons, all of the Waynes left at the same time.
Yeah, I remember that. I noticed that.
And there was a mid-season, like, replacement, and it was like 90% white people and Chris Rock. And it was just like, what the fuck? And then, like, after that show got canceled on Fox. And what happened next was the show House of Buggin', which was John Leguizamo's show. And, you know, people were kind of digging that. But, like, not even one season in, here come the higher-ups. How about you add more white people to the show? And John Leguizamo was like, no, I'm not going to add more white people to the show. The show's exactly the way I want it. And then, so they're like, all right, one season, we're not even going to deal with your shit. They canceled that show. And then you have Mad TV the very next year. And you look at the cast, it's like 7 white people and like 2 black people. Fox finally got what they wanted, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, just really subtle notes.
Yeah.
Just getting it adjusted slightly.
It's like, I like the rap song as the theme song. That's cool. That's hip. Mm-hmm. But can we have less black people in it?
Like, I'm even watching the 5th season intro. I forget how many seasons there were of In Living Color, but this is
I think it was 5.
Yeah, this is very later on. The fucking first name that comes up is Carey. It's like, I get it. He's a real big fuck name. He's probably been in a couple movies by now. But, man, that's a fucking really... That's an odd choice to have a show called In Living Color and the first face you fucking see is a white guy.
And of course they had to put forward the guy who's like, here's our most popular guy though. Right now anyway, since all the other ones are gone. He did movies beforehand, but they weren't like really big movies like Earth Girls or Easy.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't like popping like that. Mm-mm. And then he went on In Living Color, fucking everybody loved him. And then it was like right after he went off of that show, it was like 3 big movies he did.
Yeah, he had Ace Ventura, The Mask, Ace Ventura 2, fucking Dumb and Dumber, all in the span of like 4 years. Did you see the documentary, Jim and Andy? It's an interesting watch, dude.
What's it about?
It's about the movie Man on the Moon, where Jim Carrey played
Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman.
I remember that movie. Yeah.
And what happened was, during the production, Carey and his folks walking around him filmed a lot of the production of the movie, like the behind-the-scenes stuff, but they hadn't released it for 20 years. Like, either they were told not to, or they just decided not to. And basically what you see in the footage is that Jim Carrey, during the production of the movie, just wasn't himself ever. He was just Andy Kaufman or Tony Clifton off camera the entire production, to the point where, like, people, like the director even, was like begging him to be like, can I please just talk to Jim? Like, we need to film this scene, and he's just off doing his own thing, and it's such a bizarre thing, and it's like a glimpse into like the mental illness that you don't really know is there because it's not talked about that much, but like,
yeah.
At the end of the movie, he says, yeah, so we finished Man on the Moon, and I went and did the press and everything, and it just hit me like a wave of, oh, now I have to be Jim Carrey again. And the depression came back like immediately, because he looked at Andy Kaufman as like a vacation.
Oh, wow.
Because he got to be a different person for a while, and it was like, that fucking movie is really eye-opening, and how, I don't know, just how he doesn't seem to have a problem talking about it. Like, it's just very matter-of-fact for him.
Yeah, it's weird how it's like, oh yeah, I was a horrible person, and I had to come back to the fact that, oh no, I'm me again, and I hate being me.
Yeah, it's a really interesting watch, for those who haven't seen it. It shows, there was one part in it where, because in the 70s, him and Jerry Lawler from WWE had a small feud back when Lawler was the king of Memphis. And they actually brought Jerry to be in the movie to play himself. And the whole time behind the scenes, Jim was being such an obnoxious douche, pissing off Jerry Lawler, to where they got to a scene where Lawler was supposed to smack Andy out of a chair. They were supposed to do a work smack. But right before the fucking cameras go on, Jim's like, no, hit me for real. And he's like, what? Okay. And he just fucking lays him out. And they have the footage from, like, the behind-the-scenes footage of him smacking him so goddamn hard he flies out of his chair. And to know it's a real smack is like, goddamn. And you know it was so much of the frustration of having to work with him that all of it just came out in that one smack. It's on Netflix. I definitely recommend it. It's a great watch.
So yeah, that Chloraseptic verse, bro.
What'd you think?
All right, first of all, let's show some love to 2 Chainz.
Yeah, how about that?
I was like, Jesus, man.
You know, 2 Chainz, for the past probably 2 years, coincidentally enough, has been slowly, like, proving how capable he is. You know, like, when he doesn't have to do goofy radio shit. Like, every time I hear him do a guest verse on something, it's always great. You know, it's like, I'm never disappointed.
It's not like his brand on the line.
Exactly, yeah, and it's a remix, so it's not even necessarily, like, it's probably not going to see radio play, it's not on an album, there isn't nearly as much at risk. So, yeah, you had sent me that. I was seeing comments for the Chloraseptic remix in last week's episode, and I didn't even think to check it out until you had sent it to me, so that was the first time I had heard it. So it's 2 Chainz. How do you pronounce the other fella's name?
I think it's just Fresher.
Oh, okay, Fresher. Yeah, I wasn't too familiar with who that was, but his part of the song wasn't too bad either. And honestly, I'm not even trashing Eminem's part, but if it was just the other two, that would have been a fine song, even without Eminem.
And then it's like when that second verse ends and it comes to the chorus, you're like, oh shit, there's another verse coming. Like, you feel like a kid, like, it's like, there's another present. What?
Yeah, exactly. You know? There was one behind the tree you must not have seen yet. Woo! Yeah, so then Eminem pops on the scene and he does his verse, and the reason it's getting a lot of press here is because he's taking some shots at the critics of Revival. That's where, for me, things kind of start to fall apart.
Oh, do they now?
I thought that was petty as shit. Like, the verse wasn't bad. If he didn't fucking take the time to do all that shit, though, I would have liked it a whole lot better. Because we're going from... I mean, you know what, honestly? This isn't too much of a surprise. Because what the fuck was Eminem doing? Fucking picking fights with NSYNC and fucking Britney Spears and shit.
I will completely agree. I feel like for someone who's one of the best rappers of all time, his targets were obviously people who weren't going to be able to match his, like, lyrical or mental intellect. Like, fucking
Mariah
Britney
Carey.
Spears, Insane Clown Posse. Like, you know what I mean? It's not like he was beefing with Ice Cube or Master Ace or... No, he was beefing with fucking Fred Durst. Like,
Fred Durst, Kid Rock.
Yeah, it's just like, these guys literally aren't on your level, and we all know they aren't. Like, and so, like, I feel like I'm the crazy one. It's like, do you guys not see that you guys are not going to be able to take him? Like, I know he just dissed Ja Rule.
When was that?
Well, because remember he said, Ja Rule, they played that line at the beginning of the song, it's like, Kim is a whore, and your mom is a known slut, so what you think Haley's gonna be when she grows up?
Oh.
And that was the line that just had, like, Eminem's eyebrows raised, just like, oh, you want some too?
See, I wanted to bring this up, and I think we might have even talked about this before. Is Party Up by DMX, like, the most successful diss track of all time? Because that song still gets radio play, and in contexts that people treat it like it isn't about murdering someone. Like, it gets played in fucking party mixes and, like, afternoon DJ mixes on, like, FM stations and Throwback Friday mixes on, like, pop stations. But meanwhile, it's fucking, you know, hey, gonna breathe with a hole in your chest and fucking who's gonna find you some old men fishing and all that shit. And it's like, oh yeah, this is like a multiverse, violent as shit diss to unmistakably Eminem. Like, he makes multiple references.
Hold on. Why do you think this is a diss track to Eminem?
Doesn't he say straight up, watch what you say, Slim?
Oh, that's why you thought that. No, like, that's just like that's a thing people say sometimes.
Okay.
Like,
okay.
interchangeable with, like, boy or punk. Just, watch what you say, Slim.
I was pretty sure because he was making some pretty...
specific.
Yeah. Like, why would you bring up someone's mom and someone's girl if you didn't have something personal with them? So yeah, I thought he was talking about, because Eminem would always talk about fucking Kim and his mom. So I thought he was talking about that shit. But okay,
dude,
yeah.
I have literally never heard that theory before.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
That's interesting that you interpreted it that way. But I think it's because you heard the word slim and you were like, oh, well, if someone is rapping and they're saying slim, they got to be talking about Eminem.
And I just also, like, the time period made sense in my head. Dude, you have no idea. I thought that was the case for almost as long as that song's been out.
No, like, that happens, when someone said, oh, you know what it was? Many Men by 50 Cent.
Oh, okay.
Remember in that song when, he says, I'm like Paulie and Goodfellas, you can call me the Don. Like Malcolm by any means with my gun on my palm. Slim switch sides on me. Let niggas ride on me. I thought we was cool. Why you want me to die, homie? And some people speculated that it was like, whoa, wait, did Slim Shady, like, snitch on him or something?
I guess it's like, that's kind of on me, because, like, Eminem doesn't go around calling himself Slim Shady usually. Like, that's a character, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess unless people specifically say M or Eminem, then they're probably not talking about him, I guess.
But not him. I used to listen to Watch What You Do. I just never thought about the idea. Wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so I'm going to look up the Genius annotation.
Okay.
This line relates to some controversy among hip-hop listeners, particularly because of the term Slim. It's often interpreted as just Eminem, who has an alter ego named Slim Shady.
All right.
You got to think about it. It actually makes sense because, and then there was X was released in '99, the year when Eminem was at the top of the music industry with his classic hip-hop album, the Slim Shady LP. As far as dissing content goes, it's possible to understand that DMX and Eminem had a curious relationship, often remembered by radio freestyles and obscure interpretations of suspicious lyrics. The most clear sign that this subliminal beef actually happened may be the wordplay freestyle. Rappers know that I'm the same. They don't want to step to this. They don't feel the pain. Like DMX. What you gonna think? That he's gonna step to this now? Yo, you don't think you want to fuck with this now? That's... I can interpret that as a beef, though. If someone's just imitating someone's voice, that's not necessarily disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could be just like, oh, I'm just shouting out this guy's style. Because, as far as I'm seeing here, like, no one's saying a reason why they don't like each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like, oh, in 1997, you know, so-and-so stepped on his shoes and he didn't apologize. Like, you know, there's nothing like that. It's just like, oh, could this be a diss track? And there's literally, like, there's no interview saying, like, hey, do you have a problem with him? And, you know, DMX saying something like, oh, man, you know, he just need to watch his mouth sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like... Yeah.
Back to Chloraseptic, which is why I brought up, you know, how Eminem can pick fights with undeserving targets. I think it's really strange to hear Eminem straight up in a song
diss the critics?
Not critics.
He always does that.
No, he wasn't dissing critics, though. In this one, he straight up is talking about, like, you and your reaction videos. Like, he's just talking about fucking nobodies on YouTube.
But think about it. Maybe. But think about it. He used to say, just bend over and take it like a slut, okay, ma? Oh, now he's raping his own mother, abusing a horse, snorting coke, and getting the Rolling Stones cover. That's what critics were saying about him. Oh my god, this guy's such a shitty person. Why are people giving him so much praise?
But that's a part. That's not a whole fucking section of your remix. Like, he takes his time with that. And he sounds like he was straight up just complaining. Like, oh, come on. And it's like, dude, first of all, this was weeks ago. It feels like, you know, maybe let it go. Or, you know, I don't know, like he's mentioning very specific things, like he's talking about, oh, you thought this song sucked, and you thought this song sucked.
Well, because like I said, he's done that before too, where he said, oh, people are complaining about this verse and the last verse and whatever. I remember him specifically saying shit like that.
Well, why does he need to do it at all? Like, ever. Why did he ever need to do it? Especially because people consider him to be one of the best. Like, why does he need to take the time to... At this point, I don't think he's talking about critics in the way of people in fucking magazines and people. He was talking about people like us on our show. Like, his verse sounded like he fucking listened to Kill Bill and I talking about his fucking album and was like, oh yeah, you didn't like this? Well, fuck you. And it's like, I saw one person made a good point where the things he was complaining about as far as critics getting on his case was about overreacting to the set list.
Yeah.
The features and all that. It's like, no. Why were there no references in that song or lines referring to, like what we were talking about, the fucking dad jokes, or, in my opinion, the shitty production? He fucking took oh yeah, well, the problems you have with the album are with everyone else but me. It's like, no. My problem was with you. I said on the podcast, when I saw the track list, my mind didn't immediately go to, oh god, this is gonna fucking suck, isn't it? Like, I didn't go into the album wanting to hate it. Even when I saw fucking X Ambassadors, I didn't think like, oh, fuck that song. It just happened to not be that great, in my opinion. But most of my complaints were with him. I didn't even mind the features that much. It was with the, why is his voice so much louder than the music? Like, it was like twice as loud.
Yeah, and here's my thing. I think what he was doing was looking at what a lot of, and here's the thing that happens with a lot of criticism. I assume, like, especially when you're taking, like, when you are the artist who made the thing and someone's criticizing you, you take the harsher stuff to heart, right? Or you look at the stuff that's easier to combat and you go, well, and also, you know, the people saying, oh, I looked at the track listing and I thought it was whack. Dude, how many people on Twitter posted that shit and were like, oh, because this person was featured on there, it was whack. The problem is, it's like, there are critics out there who had valid criticisms. The problem is, a lot of people fucking don't have valid criticisms. And it's a shame that gets heard the loudest sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, whereas, yes, there are valid criticisms that people would have with the album that they want to tell you, the thing that he is hearing the most is the shit that's like, okay, come on, like, at least listen to the fucking album before you complain. Instead of the people who are like, oh, I just looked at the track listing and I'm like, this is gonna be the worst album ever. Which, you know, as an artist, it's just like, dude, you're already tainting people to, you know, the shit before you even hear it. You know what I mean? But, you know, I mean, we all fall victim to that in a way. Like, when you see an artist's name, you're like, okay, I don't expect that person to be working with them. But, you know, I'm usually the type of person who's like, but let's see what happens. You know what I mean? But yeah, there was actually an article on Hip Hop DX that pointed out, like, the dissonances with, people's complaints versus the things that he brought up, right? Eminem's Chloraseptic remix lyrics proves he's naive. He's naive to valid criticism, which seems very, I don't know, the way that said it's like, I don't know, most hip hop articles aren't titled like that, like naive to valid criticism, like you know,
yeah, and like just going back to it, I don't look at it that way. Like, a lot of these people are taking the response or taking the stance that it's a reaction to, like, established folks. And for me, it didn't feel that way. So when people talk about valid criticism, like, it didn't feel like him taking on, like fucking Joe Budden. Did you see the video Joe Budden made with his fucking rant about, what fuck
I think I did.
What was the name of that song? Untouchable.
Yeah. No, yeah, I did.
They played just a few seconds of it, and fucking Joe Budden just immediately just goes, it's trash. It's fucking trash. And he laid into it. He was saying, like, Eminem has no business as a white man profiting and selling records off the suffering of black people. And he went in, and he was like, I love M. He's a great friend of mine. So this comes from the heart. This is garbage. Like, where's the response to that?
I have to, and while I agree with what you're saying here, I do have to disagree with what he's saying. Like, oh, because he's a white guy, he can't make an anti-police song? Like, that seems really ignorant. Because we all know, like, the more white people talk about a situation that concerns a minority,
right,
the more people are going to talk about it, because the people who need to be talking about it are the people who have the power to perpetuate it. And so it's just like, for you to just be off top being like, oh, you shouldn't be making a song about police brutality at all, or what black people go through at all. It's just like, what? That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous.
The only small argument I would make to that is going back to something we didn't even talk about on the show last week, fucking Logan Paul. Like, you can do a video, and you can go to the forest, you can see that, right? You could joke, you could do whatever you want to do, right? He didn't have to post it online. Eminem can make a song. That's not the argument that Joe Budden has. It's the fact that he put it on an album and he's selling copies off the suffering instead he's making the money.
So you mean to tell me Joe Budden has never made a song about a serious social issue and put it on his album? Oh, anytime anyone makes a song about a social issue, if you are trying to get any profit from it, oh, now you're a bad person? All right, well, go back to fucking every artist that's ever made a song about, go back to fucking Beds Are Burning by whatever fucking group, the Australian group that made that and said, you're trying to profit off of the Aborigines' pain, so you can't make that song anymore. Come on, that's ridiculous.
First of all, Midnight Oil. Second of all...
Yeah, thank you.
Like, Joe Budden can make songs about things that are affecting his community. His argument was that Eminem isn't directly being affected as a white person.
Oh, okay, so, and that's why he shouldn't make a song about it.
That's why he shouldn't make a song on an album and sell copies and make money off of it. He's looking at it as a sense of Eminem is profiting off of this stance, which I guess if he put it on SoundCloud or put it on fucking Spotify or whatever for free or whatever, that he wouldn't have much of an issue with it. I think that was his main takeaway.
That's absolutely ridiculous. Like, you should be making music, but if it's about something important, you shouldn't be trying to profit off of it in any capacity whatsoever. So hey, guys who made The Message back in 1982, oh, you were trying to make a serious song off, well, you didn't donate all of your money to, the rec center in your local neighborhood, so you're an idiot for making that song. That's a ridiculous argument. That's not a proper argument. Because you made any profit off of it, or because you put a song that's important, that could be seen as important or have a serious topic on your album, instead of putting it for free on SoundCloud, which is not even the type of thing that Eminem does. Oh, he's a bad person? That's absolutely ridiculous.
I will say it was probably because he just hated the song and he just kind of started building momentum.
I was like, if you just hate the song, just say that. Don't try to come up with other things that are you know what I mean?
While I'm thinking about it, this is another reason. Yeah,
exactly. It's like you don't like the song because of the beat or because you felt like the flow was out of whack. Then it's that's cool, but that doesn't justify any other reason that you can't back up with actual reasoning for. I do think Eminem has a point though, where he says the thing is, I'm considered such a great rapper. The only thing I'm being compared to is me, and so I always, he says, I have to take my best rhymes, which I put out on my last album, and then I have to be all right, now I have to be better than that, because people are going to say, oh, well, you had better rhymes back here, and I think that's what makes him overcompensate. You know what I'm saying? Because he has to be oh, well, I got to throw a pun in here, I got to throw a pun in there. You know what I'm saying?
That's one way to react, is that people are comparing it to himself, which I'm sure some people are. And even Bill and I might have once or twice in the review, we probably did be hey, compared to old Eminem, this isn't this or this is different or whatever. But we did have just criticisms on its own, just not even comparing it to anything else, except maybe the Brockhampton album subconsciously, because we listened to both of them that same week. Yeah. But we were comparing it to another artist in that regard.
M's verse embodies exactly what exhausted fans and writers on Revival. It's technically brilliant and stocked with clever metaphors, but his angry delivery and hyperactive flow disregard the beat, creating a jarring musical experience. That's actually quite possibly the best sum up of what people's issues with the album was, right?
Yeah, I would disagree that my main issue was what he was saying. The exact opposite of what that review is actually saying. Mine was the rhymes and the punchlines was what I had a problem with.
But you could make the argument. You know what I'm saying? But later on, they say something that was kind of weird. He says, though Eminem decried the mixed reactions to Walk on Water, there are still plenty of stans who enjoy playing in puddles with that joint playing in the background. What the fuck was that?
That's some really shitty writing, is what that is.
What? Why you gotta go at, a fan base like that? That's not even Eminem's is Eminem's music mainly supposed to be for teens at this point?
I don't know. I've always personally referred to Eminem as kind of a entry-level rapper to be a fan of, just because he's like so accessible name-wise, and he's such a popular person that I think most people kind of start with Eminem, and then, or at least most white people do, because, you know, obvious reason, and then just kind of, you know, work their way from there. That he probably is more popular with younger people, or at least people who are nostalgic for the 90s.
But I feel like that's not, like, the main fan base of Eminem at this point.
No,
like,
I would agree.
Yeah, because, like, most of his fan base became his fan base in the 90s. They're obviously not playing in puddles. They're not 5 at this point, 20 fucking years later. Like, that just feels like a bad joke on a fan base for the sake of a bad joke on a fan base.
Yeah, I think that was just their attempt at wordplay that just fell flat.
Oh, and then they make this point. He says, he goes on to rhyme, but am I supposed to sound like everything else out because I don't get compared to it, only myself now? And I can see the fair weather fans and sales down, but the only way I care is if I let myself down. And he says, the very fact that he responded with this fiery cut proves he absolutely cares about the response to this album.
This week on the Going Off podcast, we are talking about Ephorize by CupcakKe, the self-released 2018 full-length studio album, highly anticipated, follow-up to the 2017 Queen Elizabeth, which I had listened to. Been looking forward to this album ever since. So Darren, what did you think of Ephorize?
I went into it thinking that it was going to be mostly the sort of sex jams. I was like, all right, you know, this is sort of like a modern Lil' Kim in a way. And,
yeah.
And it definitely satisfies. They're definitely on here. and when they are, like, I actually really like them. So, an interesting thing about a female MC being very sexual is that it's not a necessarily uncommon thing. But with her, she's the type of artist that is like, she takes it so far that it's enjoyable for me. It's kind of like, it's the same sort of pop that I get out of, like, Eminem. Like, yeah, lots of rappers have songs about, you know, violence, but he takes it to such a ridiculous degree that you can't help but enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? And so that's sort of her pull. But she's got a lot more going for her than just that. In fact, the very first song is about her inspiring other people, but, you know, at the same time questioning whether or not they really care about her, you know.
Yeah.
Like whether or not they're just trying to get, you know, what they can get out of her and then be out, and then she's left with no one when she's really, you know, when she really needs someone, you know. So I thought that was tight. Yeah, the Cartoons, which is the first song that really highlighted my bit of a thing that I have with some of the songs, is that the choruses feel a little uncreative.
I had thought that same thing, and Cartoons wasn't the first single. The first single was Exit, but Cartoons had a full-length music video that I remember seeing, and people were really excited for it. The deal with Cartoons is there's an ongoing theme throughout where she makes references and name drops cartoon characters throughout. And I like the chorus because it does all this wordplay working in all these different character names, but it gets repeated a lot. And I noticed that that's a thing throughout the album. And while I liked the chorus on Cartoons personally, there were other songs, where I felt like the choruses were just like the weakest part of the tracks.
Yeah, like Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, that one comes to mind.
Yeah, I got bitches wanting to box me like I'm Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, that's just such a vague, generic, they want to box me like, in general, a type of cereal. Like, okay, but why this specific one? You know? That's
a line you could put in the middle of a verse, and it would be fine. Yeah. But you can't repeat it over and over again as a chorus. That doesn't work.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's like, sometimes what people like to do is take a punchline they wrote and just make that the chorus. And it's just like, that works sometimes, but yeah, like in this instance, it doesn't work. Like, she says, I just pull up and I spray up like I'm Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Like, what does that mean? Like, no one sprays Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
There is a lot on this album that's like that, where it's just like, kind of the A$AP Rock issue that we were talking about, how it's like, a lot of this doesn't exactly make sense to me right now. But, like, I guess it did at the moment, or it did to her, but it's lost on me, you know? Another chorus that I wasn't a fan of was in Total.
Yeah, the Toto.
Yeah, where she just repeats Total a lot to the point where it sounds like she's saying turtle.
Yes!
I like, when I wasn't looking at it, I wasn't sure what she was even saying until I was like, oh, okay. I see. Yeah, a lot of these are just kind of repeated. Like, Post Pick repeats a lot. Meet and Greet, Single While Taken. Duck Duck Goose says Duck Duck Goose a lot.
That one line was good, though. Sloppy Toffee for Poppy, leave Sloppy Joe shook. I only call you Captain because your dick is off the hook.
Yeah. She does have really good punchlines. Very witty on this album. That was something I noticed on the last album. And I was excited that I was pleased to see that this album wasn't had no shortage of those witty punchlines.
Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeah, she's a clever rapper, most definitely. And the fact that she makes her stuff mainly sexual is probably what throws people off. But it's just like, it's like I said, she literally reminds me of sort of like Lil' Kim from back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say like, oh, she's not unique in her own way, because she is. She has a definite unique cadence and affectations that makes her stick out. You know what I'm saying? There is a precedence for someone being lyrically good and also being able to, you know, put sexuality in their raps. You know what I'm saying? Right.
What I would say with female rappers, that it's a natural progression that we would get to this point, because even like after Lil' Kim, like Nicki Minaj and Cardi B most recently, they aren't afraid, they don't shy away from making their songs sexual at times, you know? Mm-hmm. But like you had mentioned before, CupcakKe has a way of being extremely descriptive in a way that would probably gross people out, turn people off to it. Like, it's a little too crude for most, I'd assume, and that's probably why it would turn people off. But I think if people are so willing to embrace Cardi B and all of this, I think that people would just kind of see CupcakKe as just being, you know, the next step in the evolution of this.
Yeah. And I think most people, like, I think the fact that she is a female spitting raunchy raps gives a point against her in some respects, because, like, so many people are saying the exact type of shit she's saying, but they wouldn't get nearly as dissed, you know, because it's a guy saying it, you know what I'm saying? Like, people just don't think about it as presently because we expect a guy to be rapping about sexual shit, you know?
I do wonder, because I've mentioned on the show before that I'm not a fan of the sex rap songs. Usually, like from the fellas. It's usually a bunch of bragging, not so much about the actual sex, and when it is, it's like, I don't care to hear about what you're doing or who you're doing, you know? It's like, I don't really care too much about that. Those aren't the songs I really like, so I wonder if it's a double standard that I enjoy them. Is it because it's like, I'm just not used to it?
Do you think it's the opposite, that you enjoy this because it's not from the typical perspective?
It might be, and I think it might also be because, like I had said before, that she goes that one step further. You know, she's not afraid to make things gross, be fucking nasty with the lyrics, you know? Dudes usually aren't. Like, they tend to keep it safe, even if the issue in the topic itself is kind of taboo or whatever. It's usually very limited, but CupcakKe does go out there and
as far as, like, description.
Exactly, yeah. So I think it's more creative, and I think that's probably why I enjoy it more. The only problem, though, with that is that a lot of the songs and a lot of the punchlines and that gross out factor does kind of have a shock value to it. And for me, I've noticed that the shock value does make up a lot of the points. It's a really big factor in what makes the album. And I don't know how much replayability the album has. Like, I listened to it once the whole way through and I really dug it. The second time around, though, I wasn't digging it as much. And I don't know if it was because I already knew what to expect and that element of the surprise wasn't there anymore. But I think some of them, like, when you do have a lot of songs that are about sex, like, they're not all about sex. They actually do cover a few different topics here.
Yeah, because actually she has one song about, the exit, about leaving her boyfriend behind.
Yeah.
She actually has the crux of the album, which is Self-Interview, a song that questions her desire to be seen as sexual. Like,
right.
She's like, why do I like this? Why do I want to fuck a dude as soon as I fucking meet him? You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, typically her lyrics would be like, hey, don't judge someone because of their sexuality and things like that. But, this song was basically the same, her sort of looking at her psychology and being like, wait a minute, but am I just doing this so I don't have to think about, how my behavior may be destructive? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, there even is the song Crayons, which we haven't got to that yet, but that is all about, like who you like, fuck who you like, fuck the world, like the world, like fuck everyone else. Like that song was all about the, the individuality and the embracing your own sexuality, regardless of what it is. But the point I was going to make was that for me personally, the sex songs do tend to run together a little bit. Like parts on Duck Duck Goose, I might get those confused with the other track, Spoiled Milk Titties. It's like
that song does not turn out to be about what you think it's going to be about.
No, it don't.
It was like Spoiled Milk Titties. I was like, what is this song possibly going to be? Is it going to be about, like, literally, it's like a story rap about this bitch with spoiled milk titties? Like, is that really what's going to happen? But no, it's just sort of like, okay, this is sort of like, the sex song, her typical wheelhouse, but just like near the end, it's like, just suck on my titties till they're spoiled like milk or something like that.
I like that because it's a fucking self-release. It's just that. Like, it's just straight up called that.
Yeah.
If it was any other, like on an album, it would be SMT. It'd have to have the abbreviation.
It says, I like to keep these titties out, that's spoiled milk.
Oh, like you leave a milk carton out, it would spoil.
That seems kind of relatively, like, what's the word? It's a little underwhelming compared to what I thought a reference to spoiled milk titties would be.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you just mean that your breasts are out. Like, that's it. You didn't mean, like, oh, suck on my titties till it's like spoiled milk or some shit like that. You're just, in general, I don't have my bra on. I was just like, I'm not sure just not having a bra on should garner the phrase and imagery of something like spoiled milk titties. That feels kind of insulting to your boobs. You know what I'm saying?
It does go back to it was a good line. Do you have to name the song that? It's like before, like, that's a good line. Does it have to be the whole chorus?
Yeah. She gives us enough variation of topics that it's not just the sex raps as one might expect.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It is very unique. I will give her that. There's something that I criticize a lot of rappers for, is that they don't show enough of their personality. I cannot say that about this album. This album is full of personality. You get to know a lot about either this character or how she just fucking lives her life, and that's just how she is. It's like, this is a very in-your-face, unapologetic, straight up, but she's got her own style, Like, I can't say that she sounds like anyone.
Overall, what would you give it?
I would give this album a 4 overall. despite what I'd said before about, does it have the replayability? I would say enough of the songs on the album do. And they are really enjoyable. Like, fucking Exit's a great song. Self-Interview, that self-reflection song, I really dig that one. I dig Cartoons, 2 minutes. Crayons is great. Yeah, overall I would say a 4.
Yeah, I would actually say 4 as well.
Yeah.
I was gonna give it higher, but your points are valid, and like with the chorus, it can take away a lot for some people.
Yeah, it's like, would I recommend this to people? Yeah, probably not everyone though.
yeah, like
it's like that. It's like when they say, would you recommend this movie? It's like, yeah, but don't take your grandma.
Yeah, exactly. Not to my mother.
Yeah, it's like this album absolutely isn't for everyone, but I think what's great about the album is that there are people out there who have been probably waiting for an album like this that says the things this album does, and it's so out there and in your face that.
So you know what? Actually, I'll say like for the audience that has been waiting for content to be this type of content and to be really good, I'll actually give it the 4.5.
That does it for this week's episode of the Going Off podcast. Thank you very much for listening. If this is the first time you've heard our show, all of our old episodes are on SoundCloud and iTunes. Just search Goin, that's GOIN apostrophe off podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, check us out on Patreon, and until next week, for the aforementioned Going Off podcast, I'm Muse.
And I'm the Rap Critic. I literally couldn't think of anything, and I just happened to burp at that time. Should I do something else?
No! I'm using that. Even if you do say something else, I'm not using it.